Let's bring in here from Blackbox Intelligence and People Report, Bill Schiffler, the COO of Blackbox Intelligence. Bill, welcome to Restaurant Reps. How you doing today?
Good. How are you, Michael?
I'm doing well. You guys, how things in Dallas?
You know, things are great down here. Weather's beautiful, and the Rangers are in the playoffs. What can we complain about?
So let's talk about Blackbox Intelligence. Now, this isn't figuring out what's happening on airplanes. This is isn't CIA stuff, but this is pretty cool stuff for the industry. Why don't you tell us, what is Blackbox Intelligence?
Well, what Blackbox Intelligence is designed to do is to help operators improve their performance at the DMA level across the country. We actually are tracking at this point approximately 12,000 units within the industry, where we bring in sales metrics and prime cost expense metrics on a weekly and monthly basis. We create dashboards for our member companies who are submitting this data to us, and they are able to log into our website once a week and pull down information that gives them pretty timely feedback on how they're operating, and also how the segment that they compete in is operating as well. That's actually where we think the majority of the value is delivered. It's in the benchmarking, and it gives these users an opportunity to, on a very timely basis, do that benchmarking and understand really where they're overperforming, where they're underperforming, and where they might just be right on the segment averages by 12 different sales metrics. And again, we're in about 90 DMAs at this point, able to report on that kind of information and really help them gauge performance and hopefully improve it over time.
So how did this come to be? Because you can tell us about it, because I know you're connected to People Report, which
Yep.
does this on the people side of things.
Yes. Actually, we would not, I don't think, have nearly the amount of success we've had launching Blackbox without the background that we have through People Report and all the work that's been done with our human capital benchmarking tool, which is the People Report brand. That brand was actually founded about 16 years ago by Joni Thomas Doolin, who's my partner, along with her husband Wally Doolin. And she founded that organization, or that brand, to basically help operators as well. But it started with the human capital information. And so on the People Report side, we're basically doing a very similar thing that I just described in Blackbox. The only exception is we're collecting different data sets. And in that case, we're essentially collecting information on over 1 million employees every 2 weeks. And we're able to help people track turnover information by position on both the management and the hourly level. We help them with corporate compensation and benefits information, and help them understand how they're competing. And compensation data overall, total compensation, as well as the other components of compensation. We're very detailed, and also reporting in dashboards on a monthly basis. So in that case, it really helps companies set HR strategy, and that really was, like I said, that was the beginning, and that's why, again, I think we've been able to ramp up Blackbox so fast. We already have a reputation as being very secure in the way that we handle data, and also in the way that we deliver it. We're timely, and we are trying to always stay on the cutting edge in terms of the type of technology, and I think that reputation just carried over and has helped us quite a bit.
Absolutely, and I'm, as you said, People Report's been around for over 16 years, and very familiar with the product. Have used it in companies that I've been a part of in the past, and really the data that you get and the measurements that it does, it helps you make better decisions from a people standpoint, which, as we know, is one of the most important parts of any business. Is how you build your team, how you manage your people, and how you make your business successful, because obviously without them it's not going to be successful. But so taking that, so you get that information and then bringing that over. So, but prior to joining, now prior to this, you were this came to be about 2 years ago. You were at La Madeleine?
Yeah, I actually have a background in the industry. I actually started in the industry at Carlson Restaurants Worldwide, I've been in finance. That's my background in the industry, and started out in finance at Carlson Restaurants. Was at Carlson Restaurants for approximately 6 years, and after I had 6 years under my belt, I actually had an opportunity to go to a company called La Madeleine, also based in Dallas. La Madeleine's about a 60-unit chain, French bakery, and I had the opportunity to be the CFO there. So when I was working at La Madeleine, I actually had the opportunity to use the People Report product. So I was a member of People Report and found the data to be incredibly valuable for us to be able to chart our course, especially when we were doing our planning. We would get together with the HR folks, and we would work together to craft a plan that made sense for all of us, for our employees, our shareholders, et cetera. But we would base our human capital decisions in the course that we were on with using a lot of that data within People Report. So I was very impressed with what Joni and her team had been doing, and again was a user of the product, really understood, I think, the value behind it, and had an opportunity to come over here and join Joni and her husband Wally with this idea of black box intelligence. I think that Wally and Joni had been talking about doing something more operational with sales information and expense information because they already had a very strong data set on the HR side, but they felt like if they were able to bring in this other operational information, they would really have a very robust data set where we could bring some correlations together and help people even more. So anyway, the idea of Black Box came about around that time, and like I said, I had an opportunity to join them, and we worked on the vision, and 2 years ago launched it, and so far so good. We're happy with results, and we think our members really value what we're doing. We listen to our members, and we make all of our changes and all the innovation that we do and introductions that we do of new product releases. It's all based on what our members are telling us that they want to see. It's not that we're coming up with it ourselves. We are actually working with several ideas given to us by our members, and at this point, I think we're on track to do another release this year, and I'm sure we'll do a few more next year.
So Bill, so how are you getting this data? I mean, so part of being a member is that you it's pretty much full transparency. You need to be willing to share all your information. But how are you receiving the data?
We actually are able to set up with most of our companies an automated data feed. The data has to be pushed to us from the clients. It's not as if we're tapping into their point of sale and pulling it ourselves. So we actually are receiving a data file every week, typically by Thursday of every week. We release Thursday or Friday. We receive the data, and we bring it into our database. It comes in through an encrypted method, so it's a very secure way to bring data inside. We bring it into our database, and from there we're able to create these dashboards that look like you're putting up on the screen. We're able to take that information and put it into a real meaningful view of what's happening.
So you said you're receiving the data on Thursday. When does the information go up for everyone to read?
Well, that's a great question because we just made a change there too. We actually have always brought the data in Monday through Thursday of every week and then released the following Tuesday. So basically taking Friday and Monday to review, audit, and just clean the data. And so releasing on Tuesdays has been a very regular occurrence for us the last 2 years. We have never released late, and what we have been trying to do recently is actually speed that up. And we are actually going to release today for the first time on a Monday. And we are planning to stick to that schedule moving forward. Ultimately, what we'd like to do is release on a Friday. And once we get to Friday, we'll start to consider how do we move that up even quicker. But we actually see Fridays as a very clear opportunity and we're real excited to try to get there. But again, today we're releasing on a Monday, so the data is about a week old when people get it. But there's nowhere else they can go to get that information as quickly as we're able to provide it. Even while we're providing it on a Tuesday, we are way ahead of anybody else that might be doing something like this. So we're excited about that and feel like that's another reason that people value the product so much.
So you're talking about a Thursday deadline, and then in less than 24 hours turning it around?
Yes. Yeah. Actually, we, as you can imagine, have been through quite a bit of innovation, technology development, and database setup over the last couple of years, and in order to build this product. And we've actually been able to implement that same sort of database technology now with our People Report brand. That was actually a huge initiative for us last year, was to take that information and work that we had done on the Blackbox brand and actually roll a lot of that into improvements that we're making on People Report. And so these brands are kind of sharing innovative ideas back and forth. One brand will do one thing and we'll say, oh, we need to do that in the other brand. We do that all the time, back and forth. So now we have systems in place that allow us to collect this information and really turn it around very quickly. If we have all the information, we can turn it around within 24 hours because of the processes and systems that we have in place that, again, we have built to perform at that level.
That's unbelievable. That's obviously you guys don't believe in under-promise and over-deliver. It's over-deliver and over-deliver. That's fantastic. So I think, and I'm assuming part of this now. Tell us about the big merger that you had recently, and I'm assuming so part of the capabilities to turn the information around and to bring a bigger product is the merger that's happened with some other brands. Why don't you tell us about that?
Sure. We are really excited to be working with two organizations. One of them is called Consumer Edge Research, and the other one is Guest Metrics. And Consumer Edge Research essentially does just what their name suggests. They talk to the consumer on a monthly basis. They do over 2,500 surveys on a monthly basis of the restaurant consumer. And through these surveys that they're doing, they're able to produce on a monthly basis. And when I say monthly, this information comes out at the end of the month in question. So for example, they released September consumer data last week on the 29th of September. So this information is all about what the consumer is feeling across every income level. The sampling that they're doing is representative of the entire consumer base, and we're getting some really clear insight into what they're doing inside restaurants, how they're spending their dollars, and how they feel about all of the segments. This is not just about the industry overall. This is very specific by segment of the industry in terms of the questions that they're answering. So that's information that we are now able to give as part of the overall package of Blackbox Intelligence. We are actually able to deliver that now as part of the product suite. So if you're a member of Blackbox Intelligence currently, that is not an additional product you have to buy from us. That's actually information that we're just putting in your hands now. So that was one thing that we were really excited about. And then we also have a partner in Guest Metrics, which is part of this overall joint venture. And Guest Metrics is a system-wide enterprise software that's a web-based technology, and it helps the restaurant operator understand the product mix and all of the components within product mix. The other thing that it allows you to do is to drill down into, you could actually drill down into on a daily basis, all the way down into check level detail, and get information about how people are buying certain items on the menu, for example, what they're bundling it with, and really giving you, I think, using the tool properly, a really stronger than I've ever seen in a product like this, perspective on how to manage your business from a product perspective. So this is really a tool that not only financial folks and operators want to look at, but I think that if you're using the Guest Metrics tool properly, the marketing team is going to get a lot of value out of it as well.